The views and opinions expressed do not necessarily represent those of Access Fort Wayne, the Allen County Public Library, or any other supporting group. Get involved with Access Fort Wayne and make your own television programming. Call 421-1250 to find out more.
Hi, I'm Jeff Landis. Anyways, I'm here with my boys. We're doing here a special segment. We are doing the Star Spangled Banner. We are paying tribute to the veterans from Memorial Day. So if we can, sing the Star Spangled Banner. Face the flag, guys. I'm ready when you guys are.
Go ahead, start it off.
See by the starry light, so cloudy white, and the twilight says we, whose nice and bright stars to the perilous fight. Flag was still there. Oh, say does the Star-Spangled Banner yet wave on the land of the free?
Gotta pay tribute to the people who fought for our country.
Stay tuned. Well,
Do we have any other songs we can sing?
stay tuned for more.
Oh, okay. Hey, Wesley! The Chain Gang Barbershop Quartet was formed in 1997 with the current members of Jerry Fresh singing tenor and Jim Geller singing bass. In 2001, Phil Randall, who sings lead, was added to the group just in time to perform at the Wagon Wheel Theater in 2001. And the name of the production was The Magic Man. In 2008, the current baritone, Michael Lewis, was known as the Weatherman, joined the foursome. The Chain Gang performs for reunions, corporate events, festivals all over Indiana, and two of them are from Warsaw, but the group is actually based out of Columbia City. Wesley, do you have anything else to tell us about the group?
Just how, oh boy. What you guys doing?
What we do and
Like
what barbershop is? You want to know what barbershop is?
Yes.
Barbershop, as you can see, there's 4 guys up here, and we're wearing the same red shirts. So that means we're in a quartet because we're all identical. And on all,
Except for the
there's
notes.
3 of us that wear glasses, and he doesn't. But what it comes down to is there's 4 parts in barbershop. There's a high part, and that's Jerry. He sings the tenor. He sings way up there like Mr. Sun, way up there. And then we have our lead, which is Phil, and he sings the melody. His song, he sings the common notes that people all know. It's the melody of the song. Then you have the bass singer. Oh, he adds the bass to the whole sound. It's that driving boom, boom beat that you always hear. That's the bass, and that's Jim Geller. And then I sing in this, and so then there's that's beautiful. That makes beautiful music. And then you have this 4th part, and they didn't know what to do with it. And that's what I sing. I'm the baritone. And I sing parts that are sometimes higher than Phil, and sometimes I sing notes that are lower than Phil, and sometimes I sing notes that are close to where Jim is singing, and I rarely ever sing as high as Jerry. I don't think I ever sing as high as Jerry sings. But so my part goes all over the place like a yo-yo roller coaster, my voice part. But when you have the 3 parts together, it sounds good. When you add the 4th part and you get all 4 parts, it sounds great. And the same, if you have the lead and the bass and the baritone, it's a nice sound, but you miss the tenor. If you have the tenor, the lead, and the bass, it sounds good, but you miss the baritone. So really, all those 4 parts, and it's really tight, really close harmony, and it's really a sweet sound. And so you have it really developed, and kind of the official barbershop sound developed in the 1930s. But it harkens way back into when men would just gather and places of gathering would be a coffee shop or a barber shop. They'd hang out, they'd play instruments, and they would sing, and that's where we have our roots, is actually in the deep jazz of the South, along the whole Mississippi River Delta, and actually harkens back to some of the African American spiritual sounds. But men would get together and sing. It was a time when men would actually sing and do arts and crafts together and sing music together, and the barbershop has its history in that. So that's kind of what we do.
That is great.
So.
And how do we hold us if we want you to do your performance?
Well, we will sing for anybody if they will let us, and we like to sing. So hopefully this will be a good performance for you. Our focus today is going to be primarily Memorial Day. We have patriotic songs that we're singing, and we have a couple of hymns that we'd like to throw in there as well, really hearkening back to why we think this country is great, and for the servicemen and women who have given their lives to make this the country that it is today.
Let's hit it.
Okay, we can do that.
Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to shining sea. Oh, beautiful for patriot dream that sees beyond the years. Thine alabaster cities gleam, undimmed by human tears. America, 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 God shed his grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood, from sea to brightly shining sea. America, America,
So, America was written by a lady named Catherine Lee Bates, and she was inspired by the sights that she saw when she traveled from her hometown of Boston, Massachusetts, to the Pikes Peak in Colorado. and she saw the amber waves of grain, and she saw the mountains' majesties and so forth, and she wrote that song, and it's a beloved patriotic song for us in the United States today. We have a few more of the patriotic style songs that we would like to do, and one of them was written by Irving Berlin, one of the most beloved songwriters in America. He wrote a lot of great songs. This particular one he wrote for a play in the around 1920, a little bit before that, and it didn't work out, so he put it in a drawer, and it laid there for a long time. Finally, someone came to him, and Kate Smith was looking for a patriotic song that she could do, and he pulled this out of the drawer, and he said, well, why don't you give this a try? And it wasn't long until it became one of the most beloved patriotic songs of the United States also. It's called God Bless America.
While the storm clouds gather far across the sea, let us swear allegiance to a land that's free. Let us all be grateful for a land so fair, as we raise our voices in a solemn prayer. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above. From the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home. My home, my home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above.
From the mountains
to the
prairies,
to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, my home, sweet home.
God Bless America, we move on to another beloved hymn that was written in the 1800s. This was written by a lady named Julia Ward Howe, and she saw the Union troops preparing to go to fight in the Civil War, and she decided to write down these words as the country was facing its biggest challenge to that point. And that was the battle between the North and the South. And this is called the Battle Hymn of the Republic.
Brum, 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 brum. Brum, brum, brum.
Mine eyes have seen the glory of the coming of the Lord. He is trampling out the vintage age where the grapes of wrath are stored. He has loosed the fateful lightning of his terrible swift sword. His truth is marching on. His truth is marching. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. I have seen him in the watchfires of 100 circling camps. They have builded him an altar in the evening dews and damps. I can read his righteous sentence by the dim and flaring lamps. His day is marching on. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. In the beauty of the lilies, Christ was born across the sea, with a glory in his bosom that transfigures you and me. As he died to make men holy, let us live to make men free, while God is marching on. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah, hallelujah. Glory, glory, hallelujah. His truth is marching on. Truth is marching on, marching on and on, marching on and on. Amen. Amen. Amen.
In the 1940s, patriotism was at an all-time high, and there were actually songwriters out there looking to write patriotic songs. And so this particular song is born in that era, the 1940s, when we were in the midst of World War II. And so this man wrote the words to This Is My Country, and it became very popular. In fact, the Disney resorts played it for many, many years as they did their closing fireworks ceremonies. This is my country. We hope you enjoy it.
This is my country, to have and to hold. What difference if I hail from north or south, or from the east or west? My heart is filled with love for all of these. I only know I swell with pride, and deep within my breast I thrill to see Old Glory paint the breeze. This is my country, land of my birth. This is my country, grandest on earth. I pledge thee my allegiance, America the bold. For this is my country, to have and to
got just a couple more songs that we'd like to do for you, and these we've taken out of the Christian hymn book. One of my grandparents' favorite songs was a song that still is in a lot of the hymn books today. And so we would like to put that together for you if we may. It's called The Old Rugged Cross. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I love that old cross where the dearest and best for a world of lost sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. To the old rugged cross I will ever be true, its shame and reproach gladly bear. Then he'll call me someday to my home far away, where his glory forever I'll share. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last I lay down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange it someday for a crown. On a hill far away stood an old rugged cross. I'll exchange it someday for a crown. Well, we have one more song that we'd like to do for you today, and it is another gospel song. Still in the hymn book at the church where I go to, but it's more of a southern gospel feel to this particular song. It's called I'll Fly Away.
Glory, hallelujah, brother, some glad morning when my life is o'er, I'll fly away to a home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. Yes, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When the shadows of this life have grown, I'll fly away. When a bird from prison bars has flown, I'll fly away. Yes, I'll fly away, oh glory, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. Away, far away, I will fly.
Just a few more weary days and then
Far away,
I'll fly away
away.
to a home where joys will never
I
end.
will fly, fly,
away.
I will fly away. I'm gonna fly away. Oh, glory, I'm
Fly
gonna away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I'm gonna fly away, oh, glory. I'm gonna fly away, oh, glory. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. When I die, hallelujah, by and by, I'll fly away. I will fly away.
Thank you.
Well, Wesley, was that okay?
Yes, it was. It was great.
Hey, Michael, I got a question for you.
Oh, what's the question now, Mr. Son? I can hear you up there. What's
Why do they call you the weatherman?
Why do they call me the weatherman? Well, it's because of my good looks. You could see this face on TV, couldn't you? On TV for the weather? No. I work for the Weather Service in northern Indiana. They're at North Webster. And that's how I got to meet Wesley. Actually, he asked me about weather. We kind of touched base. We got things going, and we've been talking about weather ever since. I come in pretty regularly, don't I?
Yes, you
I come in
did.
pretty regularly and talk to you about weather. So that's why they call me the weatherman. They used to call, Jim used to do pig farming. He now does just corn and grain, soybeans. So, and Phil does propane. He does propane. And Jerry's retired, so he's a politician now. He works. He's actually a city council in Warsaw. So he's retired. He could get into politics. So we're all kind of involved with the weather. He's got a lot of hot air. He sells propane and propane related. Propane. It's grilling time coming up.
I depend on the
He
weather.
depends on the weather, and I lie about it a lot. So yeah, that's how I got my name. That's how I got it. That's how I got the weatherman.
Thank you, Michael. Thank you.
Yeah. So thanks for the question. It's an honor for us to be able to sing on your show, and we really do appreciate what all the armed services, the men and women that have fought and are continuing to fight for the freedom for us, for guys to be able to sing not only patriotic songs, but we were able to sing some hymns and religious songs, and it gives everybody the freedom to do what we can do in this country and what makes it great.
That's right.
And it gives you the right to be able to put on a show like this.
Yes, it does.
So thanks for our armed services. And man, I really love the sparkly spanglies you got there.
Thanks.
We might have to do that for our next costume.
We need to borrow his hat.
We need to borrow the hat. So, is there anything else from us?
No.
Do you have any questions at all?
No.
Okay.
Thank you.
Well, thank you very
Stay tuned
much.
for
Thank
more.
you.
I got one more. Hey, Mike. Again, tell us how we can get a hold of you.
Oh,
if we want you to come and do like a festival for us.
If you want the Barbershop Quartet, the Chain Gang, to come sing, we're on Facebook. And that's the easiest way to get us is messaging us through Facebook if you can. We also have some phone numbers, and we'll make sure that we get you that number so you can see and give us a call, and we will gladly sing. Generally, half-hour shows are pretty easy for us to do, and we have a pretty fair rate. When you figure you get 4 guys to sing for you, no instruments, we come in with a pitch pipe.
We carry our instruments.
We carry our instruments in our voice and in our pocket. They're right there, and so you can ask for us on Facebook, call us, and we'll make sure we get that phone number for you to post.
All right. Thank you.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Stay tuned for more.
Hey, Wesley, this
Hey,
is
Mr.
Mr. Sun. Yes. Hey, guess what? We had a weather situation the other day. Can you tell us all about what happened?
Well, I guess that's my cue.
Yeah.
I was.
It is.
I was just in here singing with our barbershop quartet, and Wesley, you talked to me about this. I was asked, what Why are you called the weatherman? I work for the weather
Right.
service, you know, and you had talked to me a little bit via Facebook. We were chatting back and forth, and we had a big storm that came through. I don't know if you've noticed or not, but today is much cooler than it was yesterday and even the day before. So we had a cold front come in.
Right.
And sure enough, on last Thursday, this past Thursday, we had a cold front come in. Thunderstorms developed along that cold front, and they were pretty intense down across south of Fort Wayne. And all of a sudden, they really intensified and moved over into the Paulding County, Ohio area. And these storms weren't moving real fast, but we had really strong winds up above in the upper atmosphere. And those were able to translate down in, and we got some 70 to 80 mile an hour winds that came in with these thunderstorms. And now I've talked in the past about when they talk about the Weather Service, we talk about watches and warnings. We issued severe thunderstorm warnings for those storms because we were expecting strong winds, very strong winds. And the forecasters working that night were saying 70 to 75 mile an hour winds. Turns out we had a gentleman go out yesterday to look at all the damage that occurred near Haviland and Cecil in Paulding County, and there are actually telephone poles that were taken down. At one point, we counted at least 80 telephone poles that were blown over.
Whoa.
There was a power substation that was damaged, and there were thousands of people without power. We also had several buildings that were destroyed from the damaging winds.
So was it a tornado hit, or how?
We couldn't find any indication that we had a tornado. We had very good indication that we had the strong downburst of wind. It hit and created the damage all along the telephone pole areas, especially near Haviland and Cecil. But what's interesting is as the storm hit, another storm formed, and it just kept pulsing it's sort of like a giant, boom, boom, walking through. And so we had these bursts of wind that came out. We had no indications of tornado. And one of the questions we always get is, well, how do you know? What we do is we look for how debris gets deposited. So when we have a building that's destroyed, the damage and debris goes flying out. And in this case, what we were seeing is the damage was all in one direction. It was all pushed away from and along a line downwind from the impact area. So usually what happens if you get a tornado, that debris will start to get turns to it, or you'll be deposited in a different direction from the travel of the storm. And we just couldn't find anything like that. We just found what we call straight line winds. It's just an intense downburst of wind that came in. Part of the reason why we talk about that is in the Weather Service, we try to say, that we put out a warning, and whether it's a severe thunderstorm or a tornado warning, we put out these warnings because there's a threat to life and property. And even a severe thunderstorm warning can produce, or a severe thunderstorm can produce damaging winds in excess of 80 miles an hour, as we saw in Paulding County. So really, we need people to heed those warnings. When a warning is issued, you need to seek shelter in a sturdy building, in the basement if you've got one, if you don't have a basement, as close to the ground and as far inside the building as you can. Closets, bathrooms, as few windows as possible. Those are the best places to be.
And we will be back soon.
Wait a minute. Can I ask you something, Mike?
Another question.
Michael, I got a really hard question for you.
Okay, really hard.
Okay, it's what causes the winds, and can you predict it in the future?
It's a good question, because what causes the wind is as a storm develops, and we're talking, they're tall. They're really tall. And what happens with that is as you start to get rain and hail, the air gets cooler, and it creates a density current or the air gets heavier, and it has nowhere place to go but down. And it comes down, and it rushes down and hits the ground and spreads out. Well, it's coming from way up high and coming down. The other thing is that we have all these strong winds, and on Thursday night, we had 70 to 90 mile an hour winds just off the surface. So you have this downdraft of air, and then you can mix in with this, and it just transfers the momentum down into the ground, and boom, off you go. 70 to 80 mile an hour winds. So if you can get a storm tall and tapping into those upper level winds, you can really get a strong wind current down at the ground.
Did we hit our first 90 degrees day this week?
Yeah, but isn't that great? You know, so we were talking about that. 90 degrees. It was 91 degrees the day before, that day of that storm. So 91 degrees. Not a record.
Not a record.
94 degrees, 1911. But, you know, 91, and now we're down below normal. We're in the, today we're not going to get much near 70, you know. And I hate to say it, Mr. Sun, you got to start doing your job, man.
I'm
you gotta
coming out.
You got to heat the place up. We're
I'm
going to start
coming out.
really cooling down over the next several weeks. We're going to have a cool down, probably about 10 to 14 days where we're going to be below normal temperatures again.
Oh.
I'm sorry. Don't shake your head. So,
Thank you for more.
It's your birthday. Happy birthday. It's your birthday. Happy birthday. It's a great day. That's what we say. Happy birthday to you.
Wesley, hey Wesley, what
Mr.
time is
Sun.
it, Wesley?
It's time for our birthday shout out.
Who's first?
First is May Bits, May 1st.
And May 5th is Abby Amos.
May 5th is Emily and Troy Bentley.
And also May 5th here. And May 6th is Patty Hunter.
May 7th is Trisha Martinez. That's
Great.
it.
On May 9th is Crystal Nash.
May 10th is Chelsea Thames.
And May 10th is Charles Osborne.
May 10th also is Mayor Trones.
And on May 11th is Rhonda Nicholas.
May 15th is Tanea Amos.
And May 18th is Dr. David Reynolds.
May 19th is Norm
Does he have a last name?
Topman.
Oh, okay. Good. And on May 20th would be Cyrus Little.
May 20th also is Tassie Maria.
And May 21st is Tyler Flace.
May 23rd is Steve Wannins.
And May 24th is Chris Morgan.
May 29th is Wayman Martinez.
And on May 30th is Jonas Soner.
May 30th also is Henry Sims.
And the last one on May 30th is Fred Shuttleworth. That's our birthdays for this month. And how can the kids let us know for next month?
Yes, you got a birthday. Just message us at Wesley Dozen Ponsets and we will get you on.
Great.
Stay tuned for more.
Hello, you all know me as Magic Jerry, okay? But what you might not have known about me is actually I'm retired from the United States Air Force after 33 years. And I really learned an awful lot. I'm really glad to serve my country. So many times after a person has retired or spent time in the service, people tend to forget about them. And this is what today's celebration is about, not to forget about our forgotten soldiers. And this is Donna Bollinger. And Donna Bollinger is especially here to let us know how we can help the forgotten soldiers sometimes after they get older. And maybe they might be in a position where they can't find a place to live and the times are really hard for them. Here's an organization, and the organization, tell us the name of your organization again.
Well, my organization in particular is called Broken Radiance. And
Okay.
Broken Radiance is a non-profit organization. It's a family organization that we created several years ago. Our family, my daughter, my son, and I have a board of directors, and we really try very hard to find populations that really need that special touch and that special care. So we provide education and support and housing even for the vulnerable populations, and one of the populations is veterans who cannot live alone. So a few years ago, my husband passed away after a long illness. I had a large home in northeast Fort Wayne, and I was going to sell it and have the easy life, downsize, and then I found a friend, a dear friend in the VA, the Veterans Administration, and she said, we're looking for homes, people that will open up their homes for veterans who cannot live alone for any particular reason. And also for those that might need a short-term stay and then they're working their way towards independence. So she said, please consider community residential care. And I said, what is that? So the rest is history. I opened up my home, and right now I've been doing this for 2 years, and I have just loved every minute of it. It's an opportunity to create joy, peace, and a relationship-driven environment for veterans who really many times are very discouraged. And I heard someone say recently, and it really resonated with me, and it said, if you ate today, thank a farmer. If you ate in peace today, thank a vet. And Jerry, I really believe that resonated with me. And I am so excited about this opportunity that you've given me to speak to the community. We want to invite the community to step up in a practical way for veterans who need a family environment to thrive. And so I have 4 veterans in my home, and I know I just met you the other day, and I know you probably have some questions about it, and I'm open to answering any questions that you might have.
Okay. This is a picture. We're going to be putting it on the screen here for you. And this is an example of a home. It doesn't have to be a real rich home or nothing, but basically it's just a bedroom, isn't it? Someplace they can call their own?
Yes, sometimes the vets have their own private bedroom. Sometimes they share a bedroom. I have 2 veterans in my home that share a bedroom and a bath, and then we have 2 veterans that also have their own rooms and then also share a bath. So it's any kind of configuration, really, as long as it's respectful and supportive of their needs. And I mean, basically, you get a lot of support from the VA, from the Veterans Administration.
And this is a picture of a veteran that's actually, saluting. So you'll see this on your screen. And here is an example of a veteran that's actually in a home. Can you tell us a little bit about that picture?
Yes, this kind of illustrates, as you can see, this gentleman is sitting at a table, he's drinking coffee, he feels it looks like a person of peace, and we do look for people of peace, because that's really what it's all about. It's peace in the midst of chaos sometimes. Many of the veterans do have mental health challenges, and this is a picture of a man sitting at a community home table and feeling at peace. And we do that in our home. We have breakfast areas, and then we have a table at night that we all sit around. It's a long table, and I have 4 veterans. Now, I did want to mention that it's not necessary if you decide that this is something that you would like to explore. It's anywhere from 1 to 2 to 4 vets in a home. They don't like really to go over 4. Because then there are other kinds of licensing requirements, and then you get into a group home. And basically, they're not looking for group homes. They're looking for homes in neighborhoods.
What's your responsibilities to each one of the vets?
Yes.
What are your responsibilities if you accept this?
Yes, your responsibilities are to provide a warm, loving, friendly home that you can help the vets create community. Okay, that's the first thing. The second thing, of course, is housing. They each have a lovely room. It doesn't have to be fully equipped. In my home, I do have a TV in their own room. That's always nice for them to have their own TV, but it's not completely necessary.
Here's an example of a living room.
Yes, and here's an example of a living room space, as you can see. And they're sitting around just like any family would do. So you try to create a family environment. You also provide meals, 3 meals a day. Sometimes that can be like a breakfast buffet where you set it out and they help themselves, depending on the needs of the vets. But most of them are, you know, they don't require nursing home care, so they can be alone in short periods of time. And it is necessary to have someone there in the evening, so that if there's anything that happens in the evening, there is safety there. So you do the cooking and their laundry. They are responsible for cleaning their own rooms. And then also supervising their medication, which means simply that you kind of sit there with them while they put their medication in the box. Although I do have a vet in my home who completely does his own medical medicine. So many of them are on psychotropic medication, but not all of them. So it's mainly a way of just helping to create safety with the medication journey. And then transportation, now that's kind of a flexible thing also. If a home is on a bus route, it's very easy and they prefer this, to be able to do as much for themselves as possible. So being on a bus line is a real plus. They also have DAV vans, and I can't bring up the acronym meaning right now, but it's a van that's run by volunteers, and these are wonderful people, and they volunteer their time to pick up the veteran door to door to go to their medical appointments and so on. So there's a lot of resources and support. They also have social workers.
Talk about resources. Is there anything that maybe the government helps support this program, where if these people come into your home, is there any reimbursement of any kind?
Yes. Now the veterans pay their own way. They pay for their housing, and there's a certain amount. It ranges anywhere from, you know, $900 to $1,600. It averages out maybe at about $1,100 or $1,200 a month, and that covers their lodging and their food and the services you provide. So there is reimbursement, as many of the veterans, and I think 2 of them in my home, or 3 I guess, have fiduciaries, and so the amount that they pay comes right out of their account into my account. So it's very easily run, and it is a very good business model. So not only are you involved in a mission, a very wonderful mission. These are very grateful men who really don't want to be in institutional care. They really want to be with a family, and so we'll invite neighbors in. I have a community garden that they're participating in, and a work shed out back that I kind of put together through some money that we were able to raise for woodworking.
How do you screen these people? Because a lot of people think, gee, I'm bringing a stranger into my home. That's kind of a fear that a lot of people may have. How do we get over that?
I will tell you that there is a careful screening process. As a homeowner, and we call them sponsors, as a sponsor of your home, you have the ability to say yes or no to any candidate that the VA may present to you. The process starts with an application from the veteran and social work staff to want to be in a community residential home. Then when the paperwork is signed there, the application, then it goes to the coordinator, Mike Schaefer, of the Community Residential Care Program. And then Mike works with the sponsor and goes over the application, and then the sponsor is able to meet the veteran. And oftentimes you have choices. I know Mike has been very, very helpful to give me opportunity for choices, so I can choose the one that I feel prayerfully and carefully I can commit to, because committing to them is very important to me. I believe that once you make a commitment to someone to come alongside of them and give them support, that commitment means something, not only to me, but to them and to God. I believe that it's something that we need to do for our veterans. Our veterans have served us well, and it is only our reasonable service that we serve them back.
Okay. Like, there was an interesting thing I've learned. During World War II, housing was very, very limited, and so it was the obligation of the people, if they had more than one bedroom, to let someone else come in and live in that bedroom, and you considered your home as sharing it because homes were limited. So this is really kind of along that line a little bit.
You know, my grandfather was a vet. He was in 3 world wars, wars, I guess, 2 world wars and a third one, I think. And he was a veteran, and my father was a cadet until the war ended, the Second World War, and then he went into the ministry. So I was a PK. I was raised on a pew.
Okay, gotcha. Okay.
And I early on, I became a people helper. And my background is mental health, and I was a part of a big system, a mental health system, and ministered to therapeutic foster youth. So this was a nice segue into helping those that really need to have some support that wouldn't be perhaps ordinary. This is an extraordinary program, I believe, and I believe that this is for a time such as this, especially now with all the things happening in the world and the uncertainties. I think to provide veterans who have been there, done that, and then now in their older years, I have a veteran who's 83, 73, 75, and 47. The 47-year-old wants to become independent, and eventually, and I've had several of them that have gone on to independence. But we want to leave an imprint in their lives, someone and people who care. I think it matters. It matters to me, it matters to God, and I believe it matters mostly to the vets.
Donna, is your phone number 419-230-3682?
Yes, it is.
Okay,
Yes.
so you can call Donna at that number.
Yes.
Go ahead and give it that number again.
All right, it's 419-230-3682. And let me preface it by saying I live in Fort Wayne. It sounds like it's an Ohio number, but I live in Fort Wayne. So it's 419-230-3682. And I'm absolutely open to anyone calling me and asking me questions about my experience. I'm the only one in Fort Wayne doing it. But Mike Schaefer and myself, and we'll put his name and contact information up for you, are very committed to expanding this program in the Fort Wayne area. And I believe this community is ready to step up. He coordinates for all of Northeast Indiana, so there's places in Elkhart, I know other areas, South Bend, not only Fort Wayne, but any across the need is across the board. So,
and for a candidate, a person who would like to, what would be the requirement, like of their home or what?
They have to own their home.
Okay.
Yeah, that's probably the only requirement. You need to own the home, and the assessment of your home, and they do assess it for safety and so on. When they came to my home, I mean, I have perhaps a very normal home. It is a two-story, and so the two-story home, and there were just a few things that they felt I needed to upgrade. One was GFIs on the outlets that were close to sinks or water, which I understand.
These are things that are normal city code anyway.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I was kind of glad that I was forced to do that my home was built in 1970. So yeah, really, it didn't seem like it was any challenge at all to really have my home approved.
And some of the veterans might need special care, and with the special care, do they get more benefits if they're willing to do that? Say someone has a nursing background or something.
It depends on the vet. You know, the range of reimbursement for me is widespread. So it does factor in, but it's more about the needs of the vet than it is about your own personal experience. You do not have to have personal experience with home health care or nursing or anything like that. I mean, anyone that has a heart, and we're looking for people with heart. Oops, excuse me. We're looking for people with heart. And I guess I do want to say one last thing. I know our time is coming to an end. Please, if you think about this and you meditate on it and you feel like you have a home and you want to provide a quality experience for veterans who really need care, and they need comfort, and they need peace, and they need a presence in the home that they can thrive in, not just survive. If you have that, please don't hesitate to call me, call Mike. His information will be on there. And also, I'm getting ready to really kind of launch this through Broken Radiance, and I'm available to sing, to speak. I have a CD I've recorded, and it was recorded with some songs that are meaningful for people that really need encouragement. So please call me. I would be happy to come to any group. I do parenting education. I do a wide range of things because my background is very varied in business development as well as social work. So I really appreciate, Jerry, this opportunity to come and present the need for community residential care, and I'm really grateful.
I'm really grateful for you because there's a lot of forgotten veterans out there that feels like, oh, everybody in the world forgot about me now. And here's a way that we can actually help them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, I will say real quick, there are volunteer opportunities available too. You know, so if you call me, I've got a list of them here. You know, we have lunch buddies, we have a supper club, we have a baker's club, and you know, there are sometimes seasonal parties. You know, we like to include and create memories for the veterans, and so it always helps to have more people with arm in arm, figuring out how we can make memories with the vets. So thank you very much. I appreciate this.
Thank you, Donna, for coming. This is really a pleasure.
Yeah,
Okay.
very much so.
Thank you.
Come back to Wesley's Mr. Playhouse Memorial Day. I have
Magic Jerry here. Hey, Wesley, we're celebrating the veterans, guess, and I'm a retired United States Air Force veteran after 33 years. I'm a career man, so I spent the career of the Air Force. So I'm really glad that we're honoring our veterans today. Let's see what we have here. Would you take your hand and put it in? Whoa, look at this, all the way through. Okay, that means that the bag's empty, right?
Right.
Right, okay, it's empty bag. Okay, now, what I want you to do is reach in and grab one item out of there. Oops, you got two, don't you? That's okay, take two.
I got two.
Okay, you have a red and you have a white.
White.
Reach in there for another one. There's that. Oh, look. What does red, white, and blue remind you of?
The American flag.
The American flag, right. Well, let's put that back in here again. I'll take one at a time here. The red one goes back in, and the blue, white one goes back in, the blue one, okay. Now, reach in here and get another one out. Okay, those red, white, and blue reminds us of the American flag. Oh, I guess the blue one does matter, doesn't it?
Yes, it does.
If we don't have the blue one, look what we end up with. That doesn't look like our American flag, does it? So let's put that back in here, okay? And let's add that blue one to it, okay? I didn't think it mattered, but I guess it does. Put it in there. All right, okay. This time I'm going to shake it up really good, okay? So it gets all the colors in there. There, we're going to get it shook up real good. Okay, now pull it out. How's that for American flag? All right.
If I can
made
get it. There
Very
we go.
Good. Now we got the American flag.
We did.
Right. We did great. Good. Okay. And that's in the bag that has nothing in it, right?
Right.
Stick your hand in there, see? All right. Nothing. Very good. Okay. That's it's really good to honor our veterans today.
Yes, it is.
And any veterans out there, I salute you for doing your part in our service because we need you, and our military is going to get stronger and better with people like you out there serving in our military.
Right.
What do you have to say?
When is your show on?
Oh, I do have a show, and it actually comes on every Friday at 6:30 in the evening. It's called Jerry Street Magic, and you'll be able to see me performing different magic each week. And if you missed the 6:30 show, you can also watch it at 2:30 in the morning for your night owls, or Saturday morning at 10:30. That's usually the most time that people like to watch it.
And how do we hire you for your drink masses?
Oh, if you'd like to hire me for magic, or if you'd like to have an occasion where you need me, my telephone number is 260-747-9696. Call me anytime. I'd love to perform magic, and I love to instruct other people how to become magicians. So I'm a trainer of magicians.
And you take massa everywhere, right? You.
I take magic everywhere. You seen that yesterday.
Yes, I did.
Wherever we go, I'm always doing magic because magic is so much fun. And I think everybody knows a musician, someone that plays an instrument. Not a whole lot of people actually know a real magician. So I think everybody should know a real magician also.
Right.
So I think more people should be magicians.
I agree. Stay tuned for more.